What we're going to learn about now is regardless has to be done.
It's very interesting what the Rabbi said. I always like to say what the Halacha is. The Halacha is, doesn't say you're not allowed to show affection, you shouldn't show affection.
Correct.
And when the Rebbe brings this down, the Rebbe says, doesn't say you're not allowed to, you shouldn't.
Why?
Why? Because we men are very visual. And when we watch another couple holding hands in hands, it reminds us the intimacy. That's how we humans are. So that's why, if I tell people, couples, if you're not in front of from people, you're going right on vacation and who knows where. So you're allowed to walk hand in hand. A guy tells me a few years ago, didn't really wed, and he was, I forget, he went up north, and he's walking with his right hand, and guess what he meets? He meets a Chabad shliach there. He thought there's no Eden there. He says all of a sudden he's walking and he meets something happened. Why Chazal say?
No. Why wouldn't you want to make your wife feel better by saying good things to her?
Saying good things. Who's talking about saying good things?
I'm saying you're holding hands.
Physical.
The Rabbi's talking being
Even if you're holding hands, what's wrong with that?
Physical displays of affection.
Why not? I don't
Because
sound.
in front of other people, you can hold their hand, you're driving.
But why not in front? If she's not feeling good, you're holding her hands. She's feeling better.
Because we're causing other people to have Yehudim, to think about the intimacy.
So I have to worry about what other people think?
Yes.
I
Don't
disagree.
do that in business the whole
That's
day.
wrong. I have to worry about my family life before I worry about other people.
Once the ladies explain you can't do it, they don't have a problem. Women are more shy about it than men. Usually men would like to hold their hands. Women are more shy about that.
There's a minute I saw.
I disagree.
After Chasana, there is such a minute I saw.
See now, yeah,
Only by the chuppah, that's different. Only by the chuppah.
That is based, that meaning is over 400 years already. I once researched the meaning. And that comes, the Hungarians and Polish also, they can grab the Kala's hand because there's from the wedding, you have to see the wedding, but people don't realize, you just said Sheva Brachas. Sheva Brachas is the bracha of the Nesuah. Nesuah means marriage. You know, a wedding is two parts. There's the Erusin, giving the ring, and then the Nesuah. The Nesuah is the Yichud. But you made the brachas before. So Mamele, he grabs a hand, and I'm taking you home. The whole idea is, what's Nesuah? You took your wife into your home. So that's where you have this minute. You take her, and
You know, in Chabad, you can go down with the kala to the Yichud to hand in hand.
They don't. No, because we're also saying good not to know if the wife is in Nidah or not.
So not to make a difference,
Correct.
we don't do it.
Correct.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Not slightly off topic, but if we're saying that we shouldn't have public affection because people should see, I never understood what's the whole mitzvah times to kind of give you that same issue. You have a young girl standing and everyone's like dancing around her, like why conceptual?
don't touch her.
No, but it's the same idea.
Hold on to
The chassan touches the Kala.
That's for starters. In addition, like
That's what I said. It doesn't say Sheva, you're not allowed to. You should.
No, but this is a thing which is big in the
Yes,
Jewish
right.
community.
There are many Chassidim who don't let the chassan enter the Kala. The Russian Chassidim in Square, Islam, they're not the chassan enter the Kala. Others, if it bothers you, you can walk out.
I'm trying to understand.
That's what he says.
That's what he all said, exactly.
Now, I just want to say something just for Yigal that people that keep this don't have a lesser quality marriage life. They have challenges, yeah, but once this becomes a norm, the woman doesn't feel bad if it doesn't happen.
But they don't
It
know.
doesn't affect.
But they don't know what
so
it
they
is,
have-
though.
So they have to be educated. But it doesn't affect any of our marriage lives. Our wives know that in public we don't show affection. It doesn't hurt anything.
You got the fact is, and
No, but it also helps the other people who are not married and see the
Let's continue
affection.
this conversation later.
Okay.
Right.
remember this, any relationship issue, you say the rabbi told me, that will solve all problems.
I disagree, but
Rabbi, what about in front of
You
children?
have to speak up.
What about in front of your children?
Well, there are many who hold the minhag was not to do in front of children, but if you have, it has to be a child old enough to know what's happening. 2-year-old doesn't apply. Many held in front of the girls, you're allowed to. It's only boys. Because men are very visual. A man sees, a woman, a lady seeing you holding your wife's hand, a girl doesn't. It's not a turn on. That's not. We men, just a little bit pizzas. I spoke to a woman recently, and I said to the woman, if you would know that you're not pizzas, how it drives men nuts, you wouldn't dress so nuts these days. Guys have no idea what you're doing. Women don't realize that they're not, the women are different barrier, a whole different, they're me different outside. They work totally different. A lady sees a man or a woman holding hand means nothing. We see a man and a lady, so a girl at home sees you kiss your wife, it means nothing to her. It means absolutely nothing.
It means a nice thing, it doesn't
bring her any thoughts. A boy is that way, he's very geared, we are very visual.
Wow.
Okay. I always tell people, and I add my 2 cents to this, I always tell people that every marriage today has to be, I don't know the word in English, a stellar marriage, right? Stellar.
Nice.
Because today the marriage is a whole different thing. An average lady could earn a stomach fill. An average lady, once upon a time, a lady didn't have the way my parents, Hungarians, described it to me. In Europe, a lady shouldn't have a job. Job what? The lady was very much dependent on a man. A man needed a wife for 2 reasons. There was no restaurants. There was no quick dinners. Second, it was a desire not to be married. So a man he needed a wife. A wife needed a man. Today, if you're not respectful to your wife, you don't show great respect. That's what so many divorces is because Panosa, she could find a job, and if not, the government, she's not going to go hungry. She's not. And the husband knows that too. So if there is no respect, love and true respect, that's when the marriage suffers. Today, you have to work to show great respect to your spouse because that is today a demand. And what every fight you ever have with your wife, you notice, is nothing to do with the issue. I get a class and I see this. I don't know how this came up. I want to tell you a cute story quickly. I asked one guy, I teach the rest of the this. I don't know about Shalom, and someone complained and says, who is brave enough to tell me his last fight with his wife? So one guy is married 20 years and said, I'll tell you what happened to me last week. Driving to my business, as I'm driving to my business, my wife calls me up that she left the sunglasses in my car. We went out Sunday, we left them in the car. I say, I am 20 minutes away from home, almost at the office. You want me to turn around to bring you back your sunglasses? That's all I said. And boy, 2 days we were arguing. So I said to him, do you think your wife cared about the sunglasses?
No.
I said, let's make a replay. I said, if your wife would have, let's talk differently. Wife calls up, he says, I need my sunglasses. You'd have told her, you're the number one in my life right now. You're the most important person. That is, your wife is the most important person in your life. And I would come back and bring the sunglasses, but I have a business meeting, it's getting late. If I come back, it's 20 minutes here, 20 minutes. If you feel that's important, I'm turning around. He said, I would have said that. My wife says, forget it. So why did she get so angry? Because you negated her. You pushed her away. You showed her she's unimportant. It's the way you speak. That's all. That's the kuvod you give to each other is the greatest shalom bias that you have. You show it that you don't negate her. She's important, and you give her kuvod. That is what today is very important. People don't realize that's how the social fabric is today. You don't show great mutual respect for each other. Shalom bias suffers terribly. Because every lady, every husband thinks to himself, I don't need, other things we could get easy. But, that's what brings the bonding. Okay. So the Rav says you need to make a shini. to remind you that she's a Nidah. And the Shini is putting something on the table to remind yourself that she's a Nidah. The reading along. So he says, it's very interesting. The Rab says that Tzedek uses ben kara shaloi, ben kara shalom. Not everyone agrees to this. He holds if you're sitting here, your wife is sitting, you have to have a hefsek here, not here. He says it should be between your plate and her plate. He says, you can put a loaf of bread if you don't plan to eat from the bread. You know, you have a loaf of bread here, you just put the loaf of bread there, he says. That's not called a hecker, it's obvious. You put a pitcher there, it's normally not there. You said that in Chabad, even other people sit there?
Clear.
So if you go to your in-laws,
You take it, you fold the napkin, everyone has their shtick, they make it something a little bit high, and you put it in between.
Or you don't sit next to each other.
No, it doesn't help if you don't sit next to each other. Between you and her, how's it going to let it? That's to give you sitting over there, you put something,
yeah, but that also,
you put a cup that
even the ones who hold that other people there, old also say they have to be sitting next to each other. The Rashba, the one who holds you need, says clearly you have to be next to each other. If you're not next to each other, you know, let's say, you know, a big family table, then it's not a problem. The Rashba says that. I mean, the Tzemach is Bekatza here. Because if he's saying going Chabad, even though he's in my in-laws, but in other places, I'm just saying others, there's a Machloitzer Shonim, the Rashba and the Bnei Halevi. And then the minig was that if you invite other couple at the table, and you don't show affection from the others, you don't make a hecker. If you're saying Chabad to make a hecker, make a hecker.
Both husband and wife have to know it's a hecker.
The husband and wife have to know it's a hecker.
Both have to
only they have to know.
Yeah, only they have to know.
But they both have to know.
Yes, they both have to know.
Just one's eating milk, that's one eating fleshik, so that's a hecker enough.
Same
Yeah, it's two different tables.
Same halachas. Milchus and flesh and hecker will only more from these
Two different placements.
Right, can I say the same hecker?
That is the hecker.
Does it have to be a distinctive hecker? Like
It has to be the two of you know. That's not distinctive. You put a loaf of bread that normally you put an extra cup.
the mats are normal, that's why I'm asking, because the mat is normal.
That's a no. If you always eat a mat, it's not a hecky milchus and
Milchus and
flesh.
flesh.
So that's not, okay, fine.
Talking about milchus flesh.
Shouldn't you put something that's not related to the food you're eating?
Well, that's the chiddush, the kula. That if you have bread anyways, you put an extra loaf of bread. You have a cup. Everyone has a cup. But you would put an extra cup so no one notices. You know, so we tell them if you want to be a machmer, all you do is put an extra cup. No one cups. You know, you put a cup and your wife knows there's an extra cup. But you should know it is being married a long time. It's an incredible, powerful thing because eating together brings closeness. Now, many hold the reason why other people sitting by the table you don't eat because you don't feel that closeness. You're alone with your wife, you feel much closer. You eat alone with your wife, no one is home, or you went on a date. People have asked me, he takes his wife out even as an Indian. You're allowed to take her out, but in the restaurant you have to have a hecker. You know, just an extra cup. No one else. Over there it's easy, just ask for an extra cup. And it brings a very closeness. So you make a hecker to remind you that you can't touch.
Does the have to have any height?
The Tzedek says it has to be a little high. High as a salt shaker.
That's what I remember from Rabbi Taken's class was when in public he said it was more radical on how high it should be. Like a napkin on your plate is good.
Say that one of the Lamash and Rabbanan taught him as a chosin that if you're in public, then it doesn't have to be that high.
Like a napkin on your plate is good enough. So I guess it's like somewhere.
I'm sure.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, it has to be something that's not normally there. This means you putting something there that's not, he's giving a bunch of mishalim, putting something there that's not normally there, but it's normally there, that's not a hecker, he says. Each one eats a mapper. I want to tell you that the Tzemach said to bring something which from people get shocked. Shocked. The minig was the times of seems like his time still the minig was when your wife was clean, you ate from one bowl. When your wife was a Nidah, you did not eat from one bowl. Imagine, you know, I was, when I was the first time, I imagined Svav would do it, you know, Svav, you know, do some things. That's what the Rabbi was done. It's a remove, it's a shach and a bach. Seems like the mini was still those days, and the Tzedek says, in his days. That means when your wife is clean, they would ate together for one bowl. My question was, why is that not called chibur? He's showing the whole family. He talks about the whole family is watching. You'll soon see from the words of the Tzedek. They sat down, and the husband and wife, we share one bowl. When she was a Nidah, it was two separate bowls. So the Tzedek said, that's enough of a hacker. So you see, they made hekeda, they showed affection, hekeda in front of others. You know, that's it's obvious. You know, I want to say a very big gesagt. In the Tud in Yeredeya, writes his father, the Rosh was a good ladar, the Rosh was, writes, my father lost a child a few days Rosh Hashanah, and I watched everything that he did to write down exactly the halacha. My father was the Rosh, and the two writes in one of the things he writes that the Shiva stopped doing. He says, I also noticed in the Shiva, my father slept with my mother in one bed.
In Shiva.
In Shiva. Because the Rosh should be allowed to, other should be not allowed to. Shiva means both days. But I was like shocked. The Rosh, the two wanted him to find out, and he didn't ask his mom. He says, I looked. I saw my parents sleeping in one bed, because a shiva you're not allowed to be intimate with your wife. So, but the question is, how if chok is applied
To the
so, anyways, there was a derech in those days. It says, if your wife was clean, you slept in one bed. Your wife was not clean, you slept in two beds. But normal was part of Rashi says himself the Shabbos that way. Normal you was, but it was interesting for me to know that the Rosh. You close the bedroom doors, you lock the door, we live in a, it was normal, the Rosh says, I looked and I saw my parents slept in my bed. They looked at things differently today. We are so sensitive.
But if you can sleep with your wife in one bed, then, but you can't kiss your wife in front of your kids?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm
doesn't
trying
make
to say.
sense.
That exactly what I'm saying. They ate from one bowl. Why can't you kiss your wife? That's when I asked this the older Rabbi. No one had a minute. I asked this at Bianca Kamenetsky, he didn't answer me. I was very young, I asked him this question. And he didn't answer me.
You're eating at the same bowl at the same time? Maybe they share.
No, they share the bowl. Imagine you try
Was it just the husband and wife that shit, or maybe it's
The
a
husband-
family,
no,
everybody's fasting out of one bowl?
No. If the husband and wife special bowl, they ate together, showing she became a Nidah, he had a bowl, and she had a separate bowl. Everyone knew. Today women are so sensitive.
No one should know.
No one should know.
So can you explain that? I'm not getting it.
My explanation is that my personal opinion is, if not listening, that in front of your children doesn't apply. You can show affection. That's what seems like something order all over.
Is the reason why you don't show public affection so that you don't turn someone else on? Or so that they shouldn't know what time of the month it is?
No, you shouldn't turn someone else on. And who says your children get turned on? I don't know. Who says your son?
This whole thing about other people knowing is
That's
not
something else.
really.
We're not talking about others. We're talking in the household.
Family.
Your children. So when your wife wasn't clean, you ate in one bowl. Everyone knew. Your wife got a period, all of a sudden, you ate in a separate bowl. That was the minute, imagine. And he says before this, you're talking in front of other people. He's in a minute, we'll soon see the Rav, the way he explains it, he talks about other people watching. And that's how it was. And it was one bowl. So that showed chibah, one bowl, and right, two separate bowls. Okay, that he says is the biggest hecker. And it's okay. If that's how you do all week long. You eat from one plate, and then you don't need any other hecker, he writes.
Is it possible that they did it two bowls so that other people know so you won't sin?
Saying the sin for other people.
No, for himself, for the man himself.
That's why you do two bowls.
Yeah, two bowls. They did two bowls. So that other people in the town, when they see that I have two bowls, they'll take care of them to not sin with other people, other women. No?
This was an intimate moment.
Okay.
Clean, eat together. I don't know how to say this in white good English.
That's
I
right.
don't know how to say it. My English is poor. It shows a warmth. It shows a closeness. It Shows, my wife is clean and eat one plate. Doesn't mean you're going to be every minute together. It just means it's a warmness you share
So
together.
just to clarify, we don't care to that other people know based on this Gemara.
No, we never care.
Speaking
No,
again
we
about
never
family.
care anyways. That's I think is
No, but what about, we're not just family. What if this meal had other people there?
Those days, they didn't care.
Right, so meaning,
That's what I'm saying.
so we
Those
don't,
days they don't
so
care.
1 second, so according to this, we don't care.
Right, we don't care.
What about the affection, about the separation?
Right, about people knowing, that's what I'm saying. About people knowing, it's a non-issue. So that's probably why.
People knowing that you're just need
So
to.
on Shabbos, you could pass the wine cup to your wife, or when she's neither, you would have done.
That's
right.
And that's perfectly okay.
That's perfectly okay.
Communicate all this.
Is there a concept by Nidah?
Not advertising it.
No, but your wife is sensitive. I always tell people what is important for my wife is important for me. If she is sensitive, then
So it's always
my wife is. She got older, but she was young. Wow, she was. I couldn't care less. I'm a tough guy, but you know, what's important for her is important for me.
The single goal, if we back into a form of affection, is that only about family or when other people?
Well, it doesn't say clearly, but it does say clearly other people eating together. Those who see the words. It doesn't say family. But at least some people see that when it's family, if no one cared, then you showed affection for your wife.
Is there a concept by man and wife while they're Nidah, while she's Nidah, that they sleep in 2 separate rooms?
Only she snores.
No.
I'm asking for a
Okay.
reason.
What's your first name again?
Tzedek.
There's a Furish a Gemara in Seth Shabbos. Approximately Kiflin Dollar, I think it is. Where the Gemara says there's one guy wanted to say that it's very good that you don't let a woman sleep together with a husband in one room. So the Gemara says, Adarabah, if you don't allow a married lady sleep in one with the man, even though she did it, you could guide them to get divorced. The Gemara says it's a mitzvah to sleep with your wife in one room and she's in it. I don't have to go after the Quran to see the Gemara. Amut Tagrishan brings a pusik. Amut Tagrishan when it says, so there's one Mamdubar over there wanted to say it's not such a good idea that you sleep with one like you just said. Other one says just the opposite. Women love to talk at night, so when they come in, sleep with she's in it. At least they talk at night. The Gemara says.
That's what they have about the sukkah. What's with the sukkah then?
That is by the Rebbe, it's documented.
Yeah, you see the Rebbe's talking about.
So but just to go off the topic, but during a Vegas, you're not Nidah, you just. So with the Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, you can sleep in the same bed.
There's a machlokes what the Rosh opinion was on Yom Kippur.
That goes along with what you said on Sukkah. It's one of the Tatum for not sleeping in the Sukkah, or a married man, even if his wife's in Nidah, is that
That's what he said. I said
Right.
That's right. Exactly.
He was listening.
No, the point then someone made was the wife should also go to the sukkah.
What did he
But there's no fear that you didn't listen. Your wife.
What did you before when you said she's sensitive?
We're not allowed to
By
say
Kiddush, you said, but passing by Kiddush.
He wanted to know.
I know, but you said it's
Many-
maybe that she's sensitive. What do you mean you didn't allow?
My wife, we were young.
I'm saying by college always.
But Hasidim that-
Very God forbid someone else should find out.
Right, you know that.
I'm saying,
So
but
I would always put it down. I was,
Always
I'm
put
a
it down.
rabbi, I always
Oh,
have
yeah,
this.
yeah.
So always, never, make it different. I would just put it down and she would take the cup. Today, my wife is older, not so sensitive anymore. But when she was young, it was, never wanted that anyone should even have a minute, you know what I mean? So I always say if it's important for her, it's important for me. That's how you do it. Okay, I have to stop. I have to do it.
Look, I ask you a question. I can show you the machine. You go press the